I would love to bring to the call Diamond Bethany Shipley. And Bethany, this is kind of the first company sponsored push in a long time. And as Andrew said, we've had to overcome some things, and yet here we are. How are you feeling about this, and how are you rolling it out to your team and getting buy-in?
Hey, Mike. Oh my goodness. Okay. So I just have to say, when Andrew at New Year Kickoff was telling us all about this incentive, and I could feel the energy in the room. I mean, it was like, there was almost like this buzz of just everybody going, oh my gosh, like, do you know what this means? Because I think, like you said, a lot of us ran for it, ran for that, what it was called Aroma Complete at the time. And now it's the Premier Aroma Collection. And when he said, are we going to win? And the Enneagram 3 in me was just like tears streaming down my face. Yes, we're going to win. And it's just so amazing. And so that kind of sparked for me the kind of walk down memory lane. And I went to my Facebook group, my team group, and I found the video of where I actually got the suitcase of oils. Back then, it was not the cute leather backpack. It was like this suitcase of oils. And I did this video when I got it. And I'm literally watching the video here in 2022, back in whenever, 2015 or something, 14, 15. And I'm watching myself get this suitcase of oils in that moment. And what struck me most about rewatching the video, and honestly, it makes me feel so emotional, is not the oils, although that was the coolest incentive, the coolest prize I've literally ever won or earned. It was the person that I was back then is no longer the person I am today. And the person that opened the suitcase of oils was a 22-year-old, just became a mom, just figuring out what I want to do with my life, just figuring out like, who can I be? I have no sales experience. I had no college degree. I had nothing on paper that anyone would look at and say, oh, you know what, that girl, she's going to do something really special. But when I caught the vision for Young Living and I saw that the oils were so amazing, I saw what they could do for my family. And I saw people in my community that needed these oils desperately. And I knew this secret answer to what they needed and how it could help them. And I started just sharing. And what happened in that journey was I got some opportunities to have what I like to call mirror moments. And those mirror moments are those when you get shoved up against something in yourself that you want to work through. And for me, I remember someone saying, all right, you want to grow the business? It's time. You got to do classes. That was the thing. I'm like, okay, classes. How can I teach a class when I've never taught anything, I've never taught anything. I mean, I felt like such a baby. And so I had to pull up my big girl pants and I had to make a list of everyone I was going to invite to the class. And I had to work through all of the feelings of fear around having people in my home. My house is so small. It's not big enough. It's not pretty enough. I have to get over the fear of talking in front of people, which was absolutely terrifying to me. And I remember I decided to do a call-in class at the very first one. I was like, all right, I'm going to do a call-in class. I'm going to, just share what I know about the oils. And I did a call-in class and 4 people called in. And that was after I invited like 100 people. And it was on freeconferencecall.com. So you could actually hear, this was back before they got their system a little bit smoother. And you could hear a ding when someone joined in. So here I am talking on the phone for 2 minutes. And the first 2 minutes was like my best presentation, right? I'm telling my story about the oils and everything. And 2 minutes in, it's like, ding, you have 2 participants in your call. And my heart just like sunk, because I'm like, I just told my husband that I want to go to Royal Crown Diamond and I'm teaching my very first class and I can't even get like 10 people on this call. And I was giving away a bottle of peppermint for anyone, to someone who came on the call. And so I just remember those moments where I got to shove up against a mirror moment and look at myself and say, all right, who do I need to become to grow this business? I need to become someone who people respond to. I need to become someone who people want to be around. I need to be someone who really educates in a passionate way to where people want to listen. And that journey wasn't something I was ready for the day I decided to go for Diamond or Crown or Royal or whatever. That has been a process. And so when I saw the incentive about the aroma or the Premier Aroma Collection, I was so emotional and excited. But then when I watched my video, what I was more excited about is how many people are going to grow in their confidence. They're going to grow in who they were designed to be because they all of a sudden have a vision for their life. And what's so amazing is now this premier Aroma collection in the Aria and everything retailed over $5,000. What's more valuable than that is your kids seeing you show up in the world in a confident and powerful way and learning to push up against those moments that are super challenging and hard. And I'm not just talking about challenging like it's late and you're tired. I'm talking about it's challenging like you know that you should go live on Facebook because that's something that would grow you, but it's terrifying because it's vulnerable. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the hard that's like the on the paper hard. That's like a, you know, like a heavy hard. I'm talking about the hard that causes your heart to grow. And that is what drives me in this business. This business is a personal development vehicle. And if we don't recognize it as that, then the years that are hard, and by the way, if you haven't noticed it yet, there will be hard years. The years that are hard will then become a lot easier because you know long-term vision. This is who I'm becoming. And I'm with this company because they have the best essential oils on the planet that are helping people all around the world in ways that I don't always talk about online. Like that is the company we're with. And that's something that I am married to. And so with that, I guess the first thing that I wanted to share was just it was amazing that I earned it. But what was even more amazing is realizing that today I am a completely different person than the person I was when that FedEx guy dropped off that suitcase of oils. So on a practical level, how we're capitalizing in our team is number one, identifying who are the runners. And if you don't have runners yet, that means you probably need to wake up the skill of being able to tap someone on the shoulder and get them excited about the business. And if you say, well, I'm just not that way, people don't respond to me that way, then the reason is a belief in the business of your personal business. Your belief about your business is lacking. And that's where you can grow in order to have a better rate of acceptance. Okay. So when I say tap people on the shoulder, a lot of the time, this is what that looks like for me. Hey, and I say the person's name. Whatever attributes about them that I have identified is absolutely amazing and would make them amazing at this business is what I tell them. Hey, you know, I do these oils. You know, I do this business. I think you would be amazing at this business for these reasons. You're passionate, you're kind, you're connected, you are whatever it is. Tapping them on the shoulder and saying, I don't know if you've ever considered this, but would you consider taking a look? And if I do my job in a way that is authentic and it's real, then I think that is what people can feel, and they can pick up on that. And if they pick up on something different, but I know in my spirit that I am authentic and I know that what I'm bringing is true, then that's all that I can do, right? So their response to me is none of my business anymore because my job is taking care of my intention. So identify who the runners are. If you don't have runners yet, then wake some runners up. And then let them know how this business works. Say, look, this is how it works. You have this long-term vision, which is this amazing rank system, and there's money and all this stuff. You know, you can explain all that, but the biggest thing that you need to understand is in this business, it's about who you become. So you share with them the big vision, you share with them what this can be for them, and then you teach them the practical things. You teach them how to do classes, teach them how to have one-on-ones with people, teach them how to give samples. And for this business, it's all about exposure. It's all about creating exposure for yourself. And so when I was going, I'm going to just share kind of a brief timeline not timeline, but kind of what I did to go from really, it was senior star to silver, and with some really massive momentum. And it's been the same strategy since then, but I just want to narrow in on that since that's what most of us are probably going for, or that's what we're looking to duplicate in our teams. So exposure is the biggest thing you want to look for. And that means anytime you can get in front of people or in front of person, you say yes, anytime. That means if you have the opportunity to teach a class, you say yes. If you don't have the opportunity to teach a class, but you come up with an idea that you could host a class and invite people, you say yes. If you have an opportunity to give a sample with someone, you say yes. If you have an opportunity to share how an oil worked for you, the answer is yes. People ask me questions all the time, like, do you think it would be a good idea too? And I just like, don't even say the next thing. The answer is yes. Like, do it all. Do it all. And, you know, we have busy lives. And so we have to figure out how to make it work with what we've got going on. But I know moms who have grown their business on lunch hour. Timmy Brooke, She has built network marketing, her first network marketing business on her lunch hour as a single mom, taking people to coffee, like taking people to a restaurant. Every Monday, she would go to this specific restaurant or something that was like a really cheap meal, and she would buy their meal and have these lunch dates. And it was just so amazing the way she built her business. I know people who have built their business after bedtime if they have little kids. I know people who are single and they don't have kids and they work their business in the evening time. And there are so many ways to do this. There's not going to be one time schedule that works for everyone. But what you have to do is you have to decide to start fighting harder for the potential of your success than you fight for your limitations. Let me tell you, there's a lot of people who say they want to do this, and there's a reason that not a lot of people do. There's a reason that not a lot of people on the income disclosure statement ever rank anything over the rank of star, partly because we are a product-driven company, but partly also because people say yes to a big opportunity, but they don't understand that it's going to take a massive amount of mindset and belief and action to actually get there. What that looks like does not have to be, like I said, like at midnight straining and like, I'm going to go to bed at midnight and stay up till 4. It doesn't have to look like that. It can look really healthy, but it does have to look really, in my opinion, anyone who's selling you on a system or anything that's going to make it easy, they're just not being honest about what it's going to take. It's going to take you deciding to create a ton of exposure for yourself. And then when you create a lot of exposure for yourself, you show up as the Royal Crown Diamond version of you. A lot of people that know you right now, they know the star version of you. They know the senior star version of you. They know the version of you that they knew when they were 12, or they know the version of you that they know right now. And I'll tell you, the first time I realized that this was such a legit thing was the first time Facebook Live announced the opportunity for me to go live. It was originally just like a slow process. They like let people, like they like picked certain accounts to go live. And I remember realizing, like, if they give it to me, that's exposure. And I've already decided that if I get exposure, I'm going to take it. And so the terrifying thing though, was I was going to have to go live, but my husband was going to have to see me go live. And he's like the most supportive person in the entire world. He's the best, like totally the best. At that time though, within our relationship, I wasn't someone who went live. So it was terrifying for me, not only just to go live, but also to be seen. And what I realized in that experience with that mirror moment, that opportunity to shove belly up against the really hard reality that I have to grow, is if I'm going to hit this rank, I have to become this rank first. And I have to play in this rank. So when you go to teach a class at your level 1's house that said that yes, because you said, hey, I'm going to give a diffuser to anyone who hosts a class to create exposure. When you show up to her house, and she's got some friends coming over and she's got some stuff baking, and it's tempting to just want to be liked, you put on your Royal Crown Diamond pants, you put on those confident pants, and you decide that you are going to show up in that capacity. And even though it's going to rub against the identity piece of us, which we want to work so hard to stay consistent with, you have to decide, what do I look like? And it doesn't, maybe it's not even Royal Crown Diamond. If you're going for silver, how does the silver in you talk to people about the business? Is it, oh, I don't know if I don't know if I can even talk about the business because I've never been successful about it. Or is it, no, I'm so sure that I am headed to silver. I'm so sure that I know what to do, that I'm going to share it with you so you can join in with me. So the confidence piece comes sometimes at first manufactured, but then eventually it becomes who you are. And as you start playing in that role, oh my gosh, everything changes. I remember my son, actually, when he was like 2 years old, he broke his leg, and kids' bones, they heal super fast. And so 3 weeks later, he got his cast off, and the wildest thing happened. In 3 weeks, he had learned to walk with a cast on. And as he's walking, he was dragging his leg, even though his leg was fully healed, because the cast taught him that he couldn't bend his leg. And I was like, as a mom, like, you can walk, like you're bending your leg, like it's, you know, you can walk. Just because the cast is off doesn't mean that he remembers or it's comfortable. It's not going to be comfortable at first to walk in your Royal Crown Diamond energy. I'm just telling you right now, it's not going to be comfortable. Your voice is still going to shake. You're going to feel a little bit uncomfortable, but if you can commit to that, it'll get easier and easier. So yeah, Mike, I can keep going. I can stop. Tell me if you have any more specific direction.
Well, Bethany, first of all, you are awesome, and thank you. And I don't know that I have any other specific direction other than if you were sitting down with me one-on-one and I was telling you, Bethany, I really need to move this. I think I'd like to shoot for executive or silver. And I know you covered it, so well, but how would we work that through as leader and I don't know, learner? That's kind of a silly way to put it, but yeah.
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah. So some specifics. I feel like what Young Living has done with the enrollment vouchers is literally amazing. You can see it. I have it here. I have a call right after this. Whoever in your team right now, I'm going to say like Mike, whoever in your team right now absolutely loves the products and they're ordering 100 PV, they're a prime position because they're about to have an enrollment voucher that they can give to a family member or friend. And I'm thinking of a product lover in my life. My husband, he loves the products. He uses them every day. He orders them on his own account. Like it's totally his thing, but he's never enrolled anyone. And he has a network that's somewhat different than mine. He has gym friends. And I was thinking about this today because I'm like, Eli, my husband, he's the perfect person to share. So if let's say you're a senior star and you have right now 20 people, let's say you're like every month, it's like, you're just kind of getting right there to that 2000 OGV, right? You have 20 people that are ordering on average 100 PV in their team, in their Young Living account. If those 20 people were to use their enrollment voucher, I mean, it's kind of silly to say because it's like, duh, but those 20 people using their enrollment voucher then creates another 20 people in your team. You literally just doubled your volume. So if you're going from senior star to executive, this is what we are doing. We are capitalizing on those enrollment vouchers. So here's something, it's probably a really known acronym, but I just wrote it on my sheet over here. WIFT, what's in it for them? What's in it for them? Every time you're talking to someone, remember what's in it for them. When you're talking to someone, let's say I'm talking to my husband about this enrollment voucher, what's in it for him? What would motivate him to share his enrollment voucher with someone from the gym? What would motivate? What's in it for him? Well, number one, I'm going to think of all the reasons right now. Number one, he loves me and he knows that I have goals around this. And if I just tell him that it would really help me out if he would share it, that would be one reason. Another reason is he truly believes in the products that he loves his friend. So what's in it for them? Every person you're talking to, if you are talking to someone who loves the products, but that you don't think they're going to want to share because maybe they're afraid of talking, what's in it for them? Oh, hey, I'll come teach at your house. And by the way, and I'm making this up on the dot, by the way, I have a hostess reward I'm doing this month, and I'm giving away a basket of Thieves products that to anyone in my team who hosts the class. What's in it for them? They don't care necessarily about sharing their code. They're not evangelists for Young Living yet, but what's in it for them is a Thieves basket, or maybe it's an Amazon gift card. You have to think creatively what's in it for them. And on the minute, on the spreadsheets that you're working off of everyone who has 100 PV in their cart, you're having conversations. Hey girl, I don't know if you saw, you have an enrollment voucher, whatever that looks like. So I think that's the first thing. And then secondly, remember, if star is so, 8 stars is executive. 8 stars is executive. So if you can help 8 people get to star in specific spots, you're executive. So I think it goes back to classes, one-on-ones, samples, conversations. It's all where it's at. But I think the enrollment voucher is our biggest vehicle to making this thing happen, because it takes it all the way back to the simple basics of sharing and living.
I love it. You talked about really digging in and doing the work. You talked about exposure. You talked about leveraging the tools that you're given, all things that they can control. And you should see the comments on Facebook, Bethany. They are so positive. They love what you're saying. Last question for you. How will you encourage your team? We've built a Facebook page, but I know that you've got your own ways of encouraging daily, weekly, monthly. How will you create those touch points and those celebration moments and celebrate those small wins?
I love that. Okay, so I actually have a weekly checklist that I do for my personal that I created. and I removed one of the items that I usually do on Friday, and I replaced it with recognition. So every time someone enrolls someone, and I'm pretty sure we'll be able to know if they used a voucher, but even if not, if they enroll someone, we're going to recognize them on our product education page. So just to kind of create that excitement around it. So that's the very basics. We're also, like, for my team, I'm throwing in a like a special roller for anyone who enrolls someone, because Young Living already created the qualification for that voucher to be with 100 PV. So a special roller, and then from there, really knowing who in my team is going for it, so that I can, do my best to stay plugged in. So yeah, the other thing that I forgot to mention, and Mike, maybe you were going to mention this, is I have this thing called the rank map, and I think you're going to upload it onto the Facebook group. And a rank map is basically a visualization tool, and it's kind of shaped like the virtual office, where you can put your name and it will say, your name, and then it says executive. So on the rank map for your name, then it will show level ones of like 3 level ones that are, at 1,000. And you can fill in the names of people in your team, and it really helps you understand where the gaps are. And so I just encourage you to go on the Rise to Rank Facebook page, grab one of those, grab the rank map that is applicable for what you're going for, and start filling it out with names, and then get in front of those people.
Awesome. Know who is going for it. And yes, we were posting those rank maps right now for each and every one of you. There's one for Star, Senior Star, Executive, and Silver. They will be right here on the Rise to Rank Facebook page.